A question we get asked all the time here at Firewave is what letters should we send to which houses?
On today's Whiteboard Wednesday, we'll tell you exactly which letters go to which house.
So there are 3 different types of audiences or ready, what are they?
That we look for.
Inhabitants.
Yes.
That we look for when we're thinking about which letters to send to which houses. Now, you know the not on market, you know the on the market, but withdrawals is something that very few people know about or actually pay attention to when sending out letters.
Yeah, and it's actually a really strong market that we've used in the past. Especially if you've never looked at withdrawal market before, you can go back 5, 6, 7 years often and find the homes that were on the market at that time, maybe spent a year, 2 years on the market and tried to sell and then thought it's not happening, came off the market and still haven't yet gone to market. But the chances are, because they went on the market at that time, it still is an option for them. And
people rarely decide not to sell ever after they've tried marketing their house. They've usually been a bit battered and bruised over something that's happened, or they've had a change in circumstances, but it's not usually 100% change in circumstances, so they do still need to sell at some point.
So it's a warmish market in terms of their openness probably to consumer content and their openness to potentially go to market. And it's a market that is very rarely spoken to directly. So they might get a not on the market letter, but it doesn't talk to the fact that they've been on the market previously and doesn't talk directly to their situation.
So they're not going to feel like it's relevant, are they? So let's just go through these types of audiences, let's call them, or markets. First of all, if you're going to send a not on the market letter, it needs to address the fact that the house isn't on the market. Now, you're not going to start off by saying, we're sending this to you because your house isn't on the market, but it needs to be interesting and useful enough to be relevant even if that house isn't on the market. So people talk about market updates, don't they?
Yeah, there are a few different tools you can use in order to make it relevant. The first one is data and statistics, and if you're going down this route, you have to be laser focused on that particular either area location wise or their area house type wise. So one thing we use is the high value homes. So if we send the letters to certain council tax bands, we know the chances are that it's a high value home. So we can use language to
and unique as well.
Unique. So we can use the language to say, look, you've got this letter because you fit into this area, and what that does is it gets their attention because we're speaking directly to them, and it gets their attention because
it's relevant. It's completely relevant to them. So you're building up rapport and trust and credibility because it's the relevancy.
What I was going to say is it gets attention because it speaks to their ego as well.
Yes, and it's status, which is ego. So just skip that for 1 minute. Let's go to the on the market letters, and we send a letter every single month to all the homes that are on the market that we would want to list. So that isn't every home that's on the market, because if we looked at every home in the market in this area, we've probably got about 300, 400, 500 at some point of properties that are within our chosen area. In fact, we've got about 700 in the whole of the Lake District, haven't we, at the moment?
Yes. The biggest challenge we've on the market is drowning in the noise that all the other agents send.
Yes.
So you need to think about how you make your message different, how you differentiate on the doorstep, so how the method you send it, how does that stand out, and the timing as well. You need to think about when other agents are likely to send the letters or leaflets or whatever it may be, and do the opposite.
So no triggers. Don't do that 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Don't assume. Just send it out on your schedule.
Reductions.
Yeah, don't do anything like that. Just don't use triggers. Just send it out on your schedule. So once a month, just send them a nice letter. That's it. Right, let's go back to these withdrawals, because we've got 2 different letters we send to them when they're withdrawn. So we can send them the not on the market because it is relevant, but it's much stronger if we speak to the fact it was previously on the market. Now, right now, as we record this, which is the middle of April 2021, we need to be really careful that a lot of homes sales have not been registered. And I've really noticed it in the last quarter. We've got 1 sale registered in the last quarter between January and March in the whole of the Lake District.
Yeah.
So clearly they're not up to date with registering property sales. So you need to probably go back quite some way to be absolutely confident that that property did not sell.
And the market's been so strong over the last 6-9 months that the chances are, if they've gone on the market and come off, it's either health reasons, they have actually sold, or it was way overvalued. So a good time to go back to at the moment, and will be for the next 6 months, is March, April, May time in 2020, when no one quite knew what was going to happen. And
because a lot of withdrawals happened at that time.
And a lot of people thought, I'm going to take off the market. All the news was the house price is going to crash.
They might not have wanted viewings.
And they need re-educating. It may have been health reasons. They thought, I don't want people around my house. And as we come out of this, hopefully, as you're watching this, that's a great time to now speak to them.
And actually, what these two do, they become market maker tactics as opposed to market follower tactics. So that's why it's really important for you to get ahead, because if that board went up with a competitor, you would be kicking yourself that you didn't write to them at some point down the line. And sometimes all they're waiting for is that letter. We went to see somebody just the other day, didn't we? A beautiful £2.25 million home, 100 acres, gorgeous ex-farmhouse, and she was about to put a house on the market. And now we're in the running. We may not have been in the running had we not sent them a letter, because we did send her a letter and it wasn't withdrawn, it was not a market letter, wasn't it?
It was.
So if you would like to know how we can shortcut all this for you, because this is a lot of work, takes a lot of skill, there's a lot of understanding psychology and how people think about selling their homes when you're writing to them. And actually writing a letter is pretty flipping difficult, isn't it? As we know, because we write one every single month for our Firewave clients. If you want to know how we can shortcut that for you, then please get in touch. Just go to fire-wave.co.uk/start, or go to the link on this caption and find out first of all if your area is available, because if it is available, we should have a conversation at the earliest possible opportunity. If it's not available, we can waitlist you, because nobody ever stays forever.
Well, some people have.
Well, some people have, but forever so far. But they might not stay forever. So do get yourself on the waitlist, and you'll be the first person to find out when that area becomes available. Thanks very much for watching this Whiteboard Wednesday, and we'll see you on the next episode.